I think it will either be the spark or the first domino will probably fall.
Bum, bum, bum.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go and beat Man United and a couple of them players we've mentioned there have a good showing.
Yeah, some people have asked me what would be my two strongest fullbacks, and it's really hard to tell.
I'm going to go balls out.
Okay.
I'm going to say 4-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
This is the Reds Down Under podcast, the best place to follow the Reds in Australia. Enjoy the show.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.
Hello, this is Reds Down Under podcast. This is the weekly show, your weekly fan podcast for Liverpool fans in Australia. This week, it's jam-packed. We've got guests. I've got Jack next to me. We've got Harry in Newcastle. How you doing, H?
Very good. Thanks for having me on.
Always, mate. You're always welcome on. It's first time on our podcast.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Welcome, Harry.
Incredible.
Welcome,
I've been on his podcast a few times, so it's about time he's on ours. Harry's a big Newcastle fan. He's got his own podcast, which we'll talk about in a second. I'm Tom. This week, it's the international break.
Everyone's favourite.
Yeah, which is crap, innit? But coming up next for us is Manchester United in the Premier League, which is an absolutely huge game. Then we've got Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. So we'll be talking about that. We've got Curtis on in the away end, who's a Man United fan. He did the podcast with us earlier in the season, talking about his expectations for Man United. So he's back on giving us his perspective on them, and they're rubbish. So it's definitely worth a listen because he's a little bit depressed himself. And we will be doing Reds TV as well as we
Take it to the max.
which we do like to do. So make sure you got your pens and papers at home for that, or put it in your phone, or just scream it at your
Cat.
at your cat. Thank you to LFV Ventures, production partner, helped us with kit, legends. Thank you so much to them. Shout out to Cheers Bar. I'm hoping to go to Cheers Bar for the United game.
What's our kick-off start?
3:30 in Sydney. So on Monday morning.
Might let you go on your own for that.
Yeah, so I might be there for that. I'm going to see what I can do. But thank you to Cheers Bar. So if you go Cheers Bar in Sydney, it's chocker full of Reds Down Under posters and stuff, which you'll see us there. Behind me in our little studio, we've got a 2005 signed Jamie Carragher shirt. People who are watching the video podcast can see it.
Harry wasn't even born, was you, mate?
No. It's quite a nice jersey, though.
Oh, it's beautiful jersey, man. Brings back a lot of memories, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great shirt. But we've got two of them.
Yeah.
So if you would like to win a signed Jamie Carragher shirt, then keep your eyes peeled, because in the next couple of weeks we're going to be running a competition for that. So keep your eyes peeled. It is coming very, very, very soon. We've got some great guests coming up as well. You know Abby Rudkin?
Yeah, the artist.
Yeah, she's coming on. She does a lot of the podcast back in Liverpool, so Abby's coming on, so I'm buzzing for that. That'll be a great chat.
Facebook friend of mine as well.
Yeah. Oh.
That's nice, isn't it?
It's a small world, isn't it? Yeah. Small world. So we did ask people for how they thought our season was going on social media, so we'll read a couple of them out shortly. Harry, tell us quickly, mate, what's your podcast? Where can people find you, and what you talk about?
Yeah, firstly, thanks again for having me on. So obviously here in Newcastle, I'm a massive Newcastle Jets fan. So I do a lot around the Jets, a lot around the A-League for those who are in Australia. And then as well, at the start of this upcoming Liverpool season, I decided to do a bit of content around Liverpool as well, because I get up and watch most of the games. So I thought I'd, join yourself as well as other creators in Australia in trying to get some content out. And so far I've enjoyed. I've had you on a couple of times, Tom, as you said off air. But Newy Jets Football, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, all those platforms. And hoping to dive into more Liverpool content as the season gets on.
And I think congratulations, isn't it? Didn't they win a big trophy there last week?
The Jets, yeah, they did. Australia Cup champions, which is where all the teams from Australia go in And I don't know how many clubs started off, but the Jets made the final and got the win. So huge for Newcastle. So yeah,
So
pretty
Harry, is that like your FA Cup?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome, isn't it? Brilliant.
exactly.
I don't watch enough A-League. I don't know much about it.
We keep saying actually that we're gonna invest a little bit more of our time
Yeah.
and get ourselves an A-League club.
I helped build that new stadium in Sydney as well.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And I've only been to see Paul McCartney in there.
Yeah, it's a great stadium.
It
Right,
is.
go and check out Harry's stuff. He's brilliant. He's got a big future ahead of him, this kid. All right, Harry, let's talk about Liverpool's season so far, mate. It started really well, didn't it? What's your sort of overall feelings on how it's going so far, mate?
Yeah, look, a really frustrating way to head into the international break, wasn't it? I think the season started well. We were scraping wins, but at the end of the day in the Premier League, we take 3 points, whether it's a 1-0 win, a sloppy win, where we weren't dominating or not. We were still picking up points. But as the international break approached, yeah, some really frustrating performances. And as Liverpool fans look at it overall, it's probably on the more negative side than the positive. A lot of people are forgetting what happened at the start of the season and more focusing on the few losses that we've had. So it's been a frustrating couple of weeks, but I think there's no better time to bounce back than that United game, mate. Really keen for that.
Yeah, it's huge. In this section where I talk to Curtis, we talk about that game, and I think it's the perfect game for us, H, to be honest with you, mate. I think it's a really good opportunity to bounce back. Jack, where's your head at with the Reds?
Just on United, about that fixture, I think the last couple of years, or probably the last 5 years, it's been coming for us playing them. We've been like, well, we should batter these, should be 6-0, 7-0, whatever. Should turn them over. Because we need a win. Like, anything will do in this game, won't it? It's not that mindset of like, we need to put these to the sword. It's more about us getting in and just getting a result against them. Season-wise, I don't know, it's tough. I said to you, didn't I? I said, I don't think I've ever been more ready for an international break to come. Just on the international break, my missus said to me this morning, her brother's going to watch England. I think they're playing Latvia. And she went, it is Latvia they're playing, isn't it? And I went, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Nor do I care. Couldn't tell you. So, yeah, I think that the international race came at the perfect time. Harry, I think you were bang on in what you said about the important thing, just getting the 3 points. We were fortunate to get a few of them winners, and then obviously to have it go against you a couple of times like we have isn't nice, but that's going to happen. That's going to happen, especially with the amount of time that gets on in games now. You can really make or break it. It's a little bit similar, I'd say, to it's like inadvertently turns into the golden point thing in the NRL, where like a team is going to win the game no matter what. So like it's nice in that aspect, but it's not nice when you drop points. But yeah, I'm a bit unsure, undecided. Obviously, them 3 results in the end have put a bit of a dampener on it all, but look, I still think we'll win the league. I do still think that. What are you thinking, Tomo?
I think we started the season really well, and to be honest, I think we almost started too well, lads. To be honest with you, I thought, not in terms of the performances, because I think the performances haven't been there yet in any of the games, to be honest with you. But I think the results have sort of set expectations for us in many ways, and but look at the games that we won, lads. We beat Newcastle. Tough game, that. In any season, going to St James's Park is always going to be tough. And everything that was happening with the Isaac situation as well made the game that little bit more juicy. But to beat them, to beat Arsenal, and to beat Everton, any way you look at it is fantastic. And we've had 3 defeats on the bounce, 2 in the Premier League. But at the same time, like, I don't think it's time to panic. I don't think it's time to panic.
Yeah.
To get beat by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park can always happen. Yeah, go on. No, to be
Craven Cottage.
Yeah. We were speaking to someone the other day, and they were like, they were talking about how tough Crystal Palace is away. And they were like, Craven Cottage. And me and Jack were both trying to be really polite and say, it's not Craven Cottage, it's Sellers Park instantly. We were like, I think it's Sellers Park. Anyway, you can always lose there. You can always lose at Crystal Palace, and they're a good football team. And then you go Galatasaray away in the Champions League. Not easy, that's tough, I know the performance wasn't there. And then to go and lose at Stamford Bridge, when, to be honest with you, we could have still won the game. It's definitely not time to panic. Harry, do you think maybe, we've had a good couple of games now. We've had the international break, which I think is going to help. Are you expecting against Manchester United that, the team's going to look more bedded in? Are you expecting Isak now to start stepping up? Has he had enough time to build his fitness up?
Yeah, look, I was thinking about this the other day. If, a lot of people said the international break came in the right time, and I'd have to tend to agree. In a game like Manchester United, I think the importance of this game is how fast we start. If we can score first and set the tempo early. But, yeah, like you mentioned, I'm expecting some of the more bigger players to now step up. Obviously, a reset, an international break. And like you mentioned, I think players like Salah anyways, they always love playing against Manchester United. I think Salah always seems to find the back of the net. So himself as well as Isak, like you mentioned, Isak could be bound for his first Premier League goal. I can feel it.
Harry, I'm just I'm kind of interested in this. Obviously, you are quite a bit younger than us. Well, we're all younger than Tom. That's just life, really.
Hold on, he's 20 years younger than me.
No.
he's a little bit younger.
Quite a bit younger. So, Mo Salah for you?
Yeah.
Is he what Steven Gerrard is to me? Is that Salah for you? Is he your player?
In a way, yes. I'd have to agree, yep.
Okay. When you say in a way, who's the other one for you that's like your Liverpool player?
It's not many that get past Salah, to be fair, in my opinion. Every time I'm looking at a Liverpool game or a hero to step up or someone to slot a last-minute penalty, it's just Salah. That's it for me.
Well, it's been an indifferent season so far for Mo.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he hasn't quite looked at it yet. Yep. I don't think it's anything to do with his attitude. But he hasn't quite smashed it yet. He has had a break there on the international break. Egypt have qualified for the World Cup. Congratulations to them, because I think they'd only qualified a couple of times in the existence of the World Cup, Egypt, and they've done it twice now since Mo's been in there, and there's no surprise why that's happened. It hasn't quite happened for Mo. What players in the team, H, for you haven't quite delivered on what you'd expect them to do?
Yeah, I think most Liverpool fans would probably agree that there's been a fair few players that just haven't stood up this season. And I think, again, love him as a player, but the first one that comes to mind this season is Konate. His partnership alongside Verge has always been strong over the years. And this season, like, first and foremost, we aren't keeping as many clean sheets as we probably should have. Then again, it's only early days, so I'm probably getting a bit too far ahead of myself here, but just some of his careless errors on the ball. He seems a bit lost in times of what to do. I remember the Galatasaray game. He could have easily made us concede if it wasn't for Alisson. And that's the same with the Crystal Palace game. So Konate is a player who I think needs to stand up for Liverpool. I think Cody Gakpo as well. He seems to get trusted with the starting position out left. I know there's been a few swaps with him, or if it's Florian Wirtz that plays out on the left. But when Gakpo's had his chance out on the left, he hasn't really stood up, in my opinion, either. And another player for me who I think probably most people can agree with is Alexis McAllister as well. He just doesn't seem to be, to me, the same player he was. I know he battled a huge injury in pre-season, but for me, just watching him out there, he doesn't seem to be moving or completing successful passes as he has been in the past. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but for me, Alexis just doesn't seem the same player as he was when he first arrived at Liverpool.
Yeah, well, I agree. I do absolutely agree with you. I'm we made him our player of the year last year, really, didn't we? I think it was we put him right up there anyway. Obviously, he did get a bit of a break towards the end last season. And yeah, I think he's also, there's a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, by the sounds of it. I think he's got a new missus. He's just had a baby, but it's not with the missus he was with. I don't know if the club are protecting him on some things. I don't know if there's bigger things at play for him. But yeah, he doesn't look completely at it yet. And I said, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, said to you, I think it's just a fitness thing.
Yep.
But I'm getting bedded in there properly. Because it's very strange, but we've got this midfield there, and sometimes it looks like when Curtis Jones comes on, he's the most creative player we've got.
Yeah. Yep.
And I love Curtis Jones, but I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that good. But he looks a million miles better than the other ones in his position when he comes on the pitch.
You know what I think it is with Curtis? I like the player as well, and he definitely has quality. Yep. He was a winger, I think, in the youth system, and when he came into the team, he slowly started moving back into a sort of a deeper position in the midfield. But you know what I like about him, lads, is, and me and my dad were talking about this last week, he came on against Chelsea, and for the first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, he was the impetus in the team. He was there, the driving force. He was the player taking the ball, moving the ball forward. But I think when you've got a team, you've got Alexis in there, you've got Wirtz in there, you know, these are your players really who should be giving you your creativity through the spine of your team. Yep. What are we feeling about Wirtz at the moment, mate? It's he's getting a lot of stick, isn't he, on social media? It hasn't quite clicked for him yet.
It hasn't. I think Arnie seemed to... Look, I wouldn't say he's had consistent game time, but he's had his fair share of chances to start. And like you mentioned, we've seen glimpses. I think I had you on the podcast earlier in the year, Tom, after the Charity Shield, and him and Ekatike combined really well that day. And I thought that's when I was so optimistic about what Wirtz, keep getting that mixed up, Wirtz and Wirtz, is going to bring to the team this year. But like you mentioned, no goal contributions to his name as of yet. And even struggling with the German national team. Just a couple of days ago, I saw some highlights. It can take time, and I'm really interested to see, you know, some of these players bounce back after the international break, and he being one of them.
Well, what I will say, you spot on what you're saying there about the you know, all the other fans love it because they're saying, oh, you know, Wirtz, no goals, no assists. Yep. But the stats are showing that he's creating chances.
Yeah, I think he's created the most, hasn't he, in the league. Looked at, was it against Palace or against, I can't remember, where he went it run across his body and he like done a little flick on and obviously missed the chance, didn't we? But I think he's definitely got it. And Harry, what you're saying there about Ekatike, their link-up play in the Charity Shield. Thanks for calling it the Charity Shield as well. I appreciate that. I think, like, I've seen some clips of Ekatike for France. That kid looks just ready for it. He absolutely looks ready for it. And I think I see Isak scored as well for Sweden, didn't he? I think they'll come back and I wouldn't be surprised if we go and beat Man United and a couple of them players we've mentioned there have a good showing. I agree with what you said about like Gakpo. I don't think he's been good enough. Kanate, there's talk he's rejected a contract this week as well for like double what he saw, which tells you exactly where he wants to go. But yeah, what do you think of like the fullback situation, Harry, with Kerkers and Frimpong?
Yeah, again, when we bought Frimpong, I was really interested to see how he would go because I don't know about you lads, but I'm actually quite a fan of Connor Bradley in recent times. But yeah, again, that first half against Chelsea, mate, like he conceded so many sloppy fouls. And then, yeah, the Andy Robertson-Kerkez situation is a really interesting one. And by the way, it must be tricky for a player like Robertson being at the club for so long to having to be able to sit on the bench for a long period of time. I thought when Robertson stepped in against Southampton in the Carabao Cup, I thought he did his fair share of work really well. But Obviously, the gaffer has trust in Kirkes, but yeah, some people have asked me what would be my two strongest fullbacks, and it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, the fullback situation is an ongoing sort of question, isn't it, for the manager? He's signed two good players there in Frimpong and Kirkes. He's got two other solid players in Bradley and Robertson as well. Look, we've spent the money on those players, and I think now that Frimpong's had a little bit more time, his fitness is getting up again. He'll be playing. I think once Kirkes' confidence sort of kicks back in a little bit, because I think he's lacking a little bit at the minute, lads, with his confidence. He'll be the man in there. Although, by the way, I would 100% go Robertson against Manchester United.
I'd go Robertson, Bradley.
Yeah, well,
I don't have enough trust. I do like Frimpong as a player, as an attacking player. And I don't think he's a very good defender.
You know what my only thought with that is that I would go Robertson. I would go Frimpong. The way that United play, sort of like the 3-4-3, they are going to be susceptible on the flanks.
Yep.
Because I think what they've got, Luke Shaw left wing back, and is it Diallo right wing back? Great attacking player, but could really struggle if we play high fullbacks, high wing backs, right up the pitch, pin them back. So I wouldn't be surprised that Andy Robertson's in there for his delivery and his temperament in the game, but I think you're going to want an attacking threat on that right-hand side, and that's why I think Frimpong will play.
I think
who's it? Go on, H.
No, I was just going to say before, I think we forgot as well that Soberslai's been playing a lot at right back, and I don't agree with that as well. So, once his international break's over, and I think I'm with you, Tom, I just think we need something other than Soberslai at right back. We still haven't seen Frimpong at his best going forward and defensively, and Bradley as well. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Soberslai at right back, by the way.
It's funny you say that, H, but I think he's the best player in our team at the minute. And I think a part of that is the versatility in him.
Yep.
And the fact that he can jump in at right back, and he's played well when he's played there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, especially when you've got two right backs and Joe Gomez on the bench, or you know what I mean, in the squad. You're thinking maybe let Soberslai go back and sit in the midfield to do what he's supposed to do. Well, I genuinely, I've said it to you a couple of times. He's been our best player this season.
Well, talking of players who are doing well, Soberslai's obviously had a good season, and I think the fact that the manager will basically do anything he can at the minute just to make sure he plays is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's his best player.
Yeah. Who else has impressed you, Harry? Ekitike started really well, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, Ekitike did start really well. Surprised me, actually, with how many goals he's got to his name, and really made a name for himself. Ever since that red card against Southampton, we still haven't seen, heaps of him in action. I think with Isak coming back into the squad, they've sort of gradually built up Isak's minutes because we know he lacked fitness in the pre-season. So I think Gravenberch as well, a player for me at the start of the season. I know you mentioned Soberslai there as well, but I think a lot of these players that have performed well really started the season well, but have dropped off a little bit. But for me, Gravenberch was a player that, he was everywhere in our first 5 or so rounds of the season. Soberslai was another name I had on my list, but we just touched on him earlier. And then another one for me, Allison's been strong. I think that Crystal Palace game, I'm not sure if you guys watched it, but he saved us. It could have been 3 or 4 at halftime to Palace. But they're probably the plays that come to mind when I think of impressive players so far.
Yeah, Ryan O'Leary. How are you, Ryan? Commented on the post on Facebook, and he said plays he's been impressed with. Ali Chiesa, who's done Chiesa's done really well, hasn't he? He actually says Gravenberch, Ekitike, Gakpo, Soberslai, and I think I wouldn't disagree with you, Ryan. I think all of those players have had moments. I would like to see more from Cody Gakpo if he's going to be the main man on the left for the season. We need to start seeing more for him, but
I think Gravenberch as well. He struggled the last couple.
Yeah.
But you know what? my thought on it is, you've played midfield, right?
Yeah.
Especially the way we play with the double pivot, you're so reliant on the fullback next to you. Like, your relationship has to be so strong. You have to have an understanding of when they're going to go, when they're not going to go, you know, so you can cover. And I think for both Gravenberch and McAllister, I think they're suffering a little bit because we haven't got a right back and a left back who are going to play every week and are playing well. So I think both of those players have sort of struggled a little bit. And the thing is with Gravenberch is his main job is to break up the play.
Yeah. Win the ball.
Win the ball, and he had a great game against Everton.
Everton, he was unbelievable.
He got the goal. He did all that. He was brilliant. But we shouldn't expect that all the time from him. He's a player who will get the license every now and again. But as long as he's breaking up the play, and the tough thing for him as well, he's got a fullback that's changing all the time. He's got a 10 in front of him, which is brand new to the club, and he's finding his feet. So that's difficult. Sal is not quite hitting it, and then behind him, directly behind him, is Kanate, and he's having an absolute nightmare. I think
It's a bit like the Steelers Wheel song, isn't it? Stuck in the middle.
yeah, that's how he feels. Yeah, clowns everywhere around him. Obviously, at the start of the season, I think we were all expecting big things from Liverpool. Harry, has your expectations changed at all, given the results in the last couple of games?
No, not really. I think, although a lot of people have gave Liverpool a bit of stick for how they played before the international break, I don't agree really on that side. I think it's only early days, and like you mentioned, this United game will be a true test to see how we bounce back. But I would say no. I would say I'm sticking from where I was at the start of the season. I still have belief in the squad, so much depth, and yeah, for me, nothing's changed.
How about you, Jeff?
Harry, for a little bit of context for you, man, I'm getting married next year.
You mention it every week, man.
No, it's because all the women out there keep chasing me. So we're looking at booking our flights to go back to England, Harry, back to Liverpool. And my missus was saying yesterday, so should we go? When do you think we should go? First week of June? Or I was like, our Champions League finals around there. I was like, oh, I'll probably get back mid-May for the league title parade, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
She was like, do you think we'll win the league? And we were driving, and I genuinely, for like 30, 40 seconds, whatever, I went, And in the end, I was going, I mean, Arsenal are pretty good, aren't they? But, and then I went, yeah, we'll win the league, or it'll be Arsenal. So I don't know. I think to go back to back, it would be so impressive. It would be so impressive, but I think we'll still be there at the end of the season. You've got to remember, like, last season, how we ended up in a situation was we were winning games, the teams around us were dropping points. Like, it's not every season is a league title that you win by winning most of your games, and you know what I mean? You're gonna lose games. We just need to now get together a little 8 or 10 game run of not losing and winning our games, other teams dropping points, and then we should still be there. You think we're gonna win the lot still, don't you?
Yeah, look, I think we're further along in terms of points on the board than I thought we would have. I'm like, I wasn't expecting us to go and win the games that we did at the start of the season. It was a 5 on the bounce, Premier League games, Arsenal in there, Everton, Newcastle away. So, you know, for me, I think I've had it in my head, all right, new players, it's going to take Isaac November for him really to be at it, you know what I mean? Terrifying defences. I thought the same with Vert. It's going to take a bit of time. And we've already sort of give ourselves a better foundation than I thought we would. So, there's no panic in my head with it. I think that the manager will have had the international break. It's time to sort of reset. We've got a great game against United coming up because we could turn them over and it could be 0-0. But I don't think we'll get beat in the game. So I still expect us to have a great season. And let's have a look at some of the comments from social media. Jacob, who we had on as a guest, lad from Melbourne,
Oh,
you know the one?
Yeah.
He said the early luck has worn off, which, I mean, we were lucky, weren't we, very early on. But he's expecting a big bounce back against United, so let's hope that happens. Damien Big Rig.
Ha ha.
How are you, Big Rig? He says something which I think is an important point to make is, let's not forget, there's a situation there within the club with Jota's death. The players are still going to be dealing with that. And the fans, we are still dealing with that as well in many ways. So that will have certain effects on the players. But as he says, at the end of the storm, there's a golden sky. Quickly, Harry, what's your marks out of 10 then for the start of the season?
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly, by the way, with what you said earlier. I'm going to stick with a 6, just purely because I was thinking of going higher, but I just feel like it's important to remember that, it's a long season, and I think a lot of people, a lot of Liverpool fans need to realise that it's a long season, it's only early days. We still accomplished so much early that I think we need to be proud of, from late winners in the Champions League to the Premier League. We did it all in those first 5-6 rounds, so I'm going to stick with a 6, but it's a tricky one.
Harry, when I said quickly, give us marks out of 10, you just spoke for 5 minutes. 6 out of 10's fine. Jack,
6,
what
yeah.
would you go?
If we didn't get beat by Chelsea, we wouldn't have this feeling of like alarm bells going off. I think there's if I'm looking at it from the greater picture of it, really, the bigger picture. The end of the season, we'll just look back and go, oh, you remember that tip we had in form there? I remember people were panicking last year after we got beat by Nottingham Forest. That it'll be impossible for us to win the league because Forest have beat us 1-0 at home. Because City won't drop, Arsenal won't drop points, and it just is what it is. I'll go 5, and it's mostly because yes, we have won games, but the performances have been nowhere near good enough.
Yeah, for me, I would give us 7 because I think we've overperformed in terms of results. To be where we are right now in the Premier League, we beat Atletico in the Champions League, which is tough. We progressed in the League Cup as well against Southampton. To be where we are and our players not quite hit it yet is good. So yeah, it's good. So 7 out of 10 for me.
Stop stressing out, Harry. It'll be all right, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only early days.
It's only early days. By the way, can we just go back on what Big Rick said?
Yeah.
Doesn't that guy just always nail it?
Yeah, he's what?
He nails it.
Yeah, he gets it, doesn't he?
Love you, Big Rick.
Yeah, we love you, Big Rig. Thanks for being a good supporter of the pod. Right, that's the season so far for Liverpool. We'll keep an eye, obviously, every week.
Imagine we just stop watching.
Let's just not watch it.
Yeah.
Look, loads to talk about for the rest of the podcast. We're going to have a really quick break. And when we come back, it's Reds Trivia, so get your pens and your pencils out.
Shaky to the max.
This is a Reds Down Under announcement for all supporters. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, give us a review on Spotify, Apple and Amazon. Thank you. Right, we're back. Reds Trivia is here, and this week all the questions.
Take it to the max.
Take it to the max is back, and all the questions are about Liverpool and Manchester United. Some of them might be a little bit tough for you, H.
Yep.
Because you're younger, but you'll be all right. Let's see how you do. So we'll do questions and then we'll do answers. All right?
Gotcha.
No cheating, Harry. All right.
Yeah.
The school invigilators. What was that?
Invigilator?
What were they called? The people who come around on the tests.
I don't know.
Them rats, mate, who came round. I'm just trying to cheat us, you know?
I'm trying to cheat as fairly as I can. Right, question number 1. Who was the Man United coach the last time they beat us at Anfield? Who was the Man United coach the last time they beat us at Anfield? It was a while ago. I'll give you that. Who was the Man United coach last time they beat us at Anfield? That's question number 1.
Jeez, I'm not
And
confident
question-
about that one.
Yeah, that's hard, that one.
Question number 2. Who scored Liverpool's only goal in the 1-1 draw away at Old Trafford in the Europa League tie in 2016?
Mate,
I remember where I was.
It was a brilliant goal.
I remember where I was. I was in the Blue Anchor, and I'd just been for a pee, and I heard the celebration, and I was like, ran out and watched it.
Spoiler alert, Liverpool went on, got through the tie. We won 3-1. Number 3, which former Liverpool player played against United in the 2011 Champions League final? Which former Liverpool player played against United in the 2011 Champions League final, which was in Wembley? Great game. One of the best performances of a football team I've ever seen.
Yeah, amazing.
But can you tell me the player? Question number 4. Jurgen Klopp, has he won more, lost more, or drawn more in all of his games against Manchester United? Has he won more, drawn more, or lost more? Oh. I know we won a couple of crackers. That's 7-0. Let's never forget that. And question number 5. Andy Robertson and Harry Maguire were both signed from what club? Andy Robbo and Maguire were both signed from what club? Yeah, feeling good? Yeah. Harry, how many do you think you've got out of 5?
none, if I'm being honest.
Jack?
If Andre Vonlin played for Barcelona, like I think he did.
I've had a shocker.
The man with the ponytail. Right, let's...
It's all right, kid. I'm pretty confident here, and I reckon I've only got 3.
Me.
All right, let's do the answers. Harry, you can go first on this one. Question number 1. Who was the Man United coach last time they beat us at Anfield?
I've gone with a total guess, and that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Solskjaer, Jack?
Van Gaal.
It was Louis van Gaal. In 2016, it was a 1-0 win. Wayne Rooney scored. Question number 2. Who scored Liverpool's only goal in the 1-1 draw away at Old Trafford in the Europa League tie in 2016, Jack?
Felipe Coutinho.
Harry?
Yep, I have got one. Coutinho.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
No, I'm only joking. No, you have got one.
He took it down the left-hand side, and De Gea came out, and he just dinked it past them. Unbelievable.
Little near post dink it was. It was fantastic. In that black kit. Yeah, lovely kit. Yeah. Number 3. Which former Liverpool player played against United in the 2011 Champions League final? Jack?
Harry, who is it?
I didn't get it. I didn't get anything.
Javier Mascherano.
It was Mascherano.
And he dedicated it after the game, Harry. He said, I didn't get a real farewell with the Liverpool fans. He said, but that was for you. This is me farewell.
Special.
He beat United. Yeah, class.
Well, you know why he didn't get a farewell? It's because he forced his way out the club.
It is, yeah. But that was a good win against United.
Apparently, he refused to play against City away. You got beat 3-0. Or 3-1.
Me singing his name.
Number 4. Has Jurgen Klopp won, lost, or draw more times against United? Jack?
I think it's drawn.
Harry?
I've gone 1, but now I think about it, could be drawn.
He won 7. He lost 5. And he drew 9. Yes. So the answer was draw.
I was going to put draw.
And last question, Andy Robbo.
I've got 5 out of 5.
Andy Robbo and Harry Maguire were signed from what club? H?
No, didn't get it.
Can't get any worse, can it? It can. It's Hull City, mate.
It is Hull City. Well done, Jack. 5 out of 5?
5 out of 5. He's back, mate. The king returns.
Oh, bloody hell. God, now I've got to put it with him for the week. How many did you get, H?
I got the one which was for Coutinho's goal.
Yeah. tough questions, I
They were
thought.
hard. They were hard. Because the United one was tough, because I was thinking, did David Moyes sneak one in that time? I knew they'd beat us, but it could have been Fergie. Genuinely, it could have been Fergie.
Yeah.
Nah, that was a tough quiz. That was one of the toughest ones.
Tough ones. So let us know at home how you guys got on. I do get messages. People tell me how they got on. So that was Reds Trivia. Well done, lads. Well done. Let's talk about that Manchester United game, Liverpool. As we mentioned, 3 defeats on the bounce. Jack, is it the perfect game to bounce back with?
It's one of them, isn't it? Because if we lose against United, things couldn't get any worse, could they? Then it will feel like the wheels are falling off. It'll be an emotional game no matter what. It always is against them. They'll know they're facing quite a vulnerable Liverpool. But, you know, us being a bit of a wounded animal, I think we could punish them. Yeah, it's never nice. It's a game, you know, you were mentioning going to Cheers to watch it. I was like, I'll be in work the next morning. I won't be able to sleep knowing that game's there. I might come with you. But I'd take a 2-1 win. I'll take a 2-1 win. Harry, what are your thoughts on United, especially this season? Obviously, they had a big win against Chelsea.
Yep.
A game they probably shouldn't have won.
Yep.
And then so many ups and downs with United, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. That's the perfect way to sum them up. They're just so inconsistent. And like you mentioned, if Liverpool get clicking early, I think it could be one of these games where Liverpool not blow them off the park, but put a good margin onto them. Like you mentioned, they're so up and down. You don't know what to expect from this United side. One thing I do know is we love to score against them. We beat them 3-0 away last year, and then I think we scored 2 at home. So if I was to give my prediction, I'd probably go for a confident 2-0 win. I just think some players will really click in this game and we'll get the better of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Like, you know, you're talking about like players you have to play. Is this a game where they just need to find a place where Szoboszlai just will play? He has to play.
Yeah, I think the right back, well, the full back conversation we were having earlier, I think Szoboszlai starts at right back. Because it'll be a situation of, all right, well, this will be the game where it clicks for Wirtz. I do think this will be a game where it clicks for Wirtz, where he shows himself. But I also said it the same about Galatasaray, but I was like, this might be the one where he shows himself. And then at least you can accommodate Szoboszlai being on the pitch and being at right back, and you know what he can do in that situation. Yeah, I think like Cody Gakpo, this is the perfect game for Cody Gakpo. He loves playing against United. He's got a few against them. So yeah, the team selection will be into. Well, Notepad 11 will be good this week, won't it?
Yeah, well, I'll give you a hint. My Notepad 11 this week is going to be a bit different than what people might expect.
Oh, really, yeah.
Because you know, it's I say it's me predicted 11. Really, it's the 11 I will play, isn't it? So, yeah, keep your eye out for that one because there might be a couple of surprises. Right, so we've got...
Reina's not starting, is he?
Yeah, Pepe's in goal. Pepe's in goal.
Jamie Carragher's next to Van Dijk.
I tell you what, mate, we could do with Jamie. We could do with Jamie in the back line. Right, let's cut to my chat, pre-recorded.
Yeah.
I did it earlier with Curtis. He's a big Man United fan. He's a cracking lad.
Dirty mank he is.
Yeah, but he's a lovely fella.
Dirty mank.
He's a beautiful lad, but he is a dirty man.
Horrible. Lovely lad, though.
Yeah, so he's going to give us his perspective, the United perspective, on his thoughts on that game. So here is me and Curtis talking about all the Reds, basically.
Dirty mank.
Right, Curtis, Liverpool, Man United, coming up this weekend, mate. Absolutely massive game. Liverpool go into the game having 3 straight defeats. Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, and then Chelsea. Man United's form, mate, is sort of up, down, isn't it?
Bit of a rollercoaster, Tom. bit of a roller coaster. It's been a flat start to the season, I would say. I think last season when Amarin took over, you kind of took that second half of the season. You kind of went, that's all right. Everything's changed so much. Tactically, everything's different. The squad's obviously not built for the system that we play, which is, that 3-4-3 or 5-2-3, however you want to describe it. Give him the off-season, bring in signings. You look at the squad on paper and you think, that's a pretty good squad. With the way that the Champions League's expanded and based off, points and how English teams are performing in Europe. Generally, you're probably going to see England getting 5 spots pretty much every season from here on in. So you'd think at the beginning of the season, or I personally thought, United's good enough to at least push for that 5th spot. Again, you look at that squad on paper and you think that's definitely a good enough team to do it. But tactically, it's just been a mess. It's just been a mess. And I think the club is now annoyingly at a crossroads all over again. And, I speak to fellow United fans and we're annoyingly just stuck in the same circle, the chain of getting a coach, trying a new philosophy, trying something different, and then it just ultimately doesn't work. But I think the damning thing is there hasn't been a manager that has struggled this much since Fergie left. I think you can point to every other manager and you can go, Ten Hag, for example, gets all the critics. And fair enough, gets all the criticism, but he left his Man United career with 2 trophies. Van Gaal wasn't the most attractive type of football, 1 silverware.
Not the most attractive looking bloke either, was he?
God,
to be honest with him.
Like a toothpick. That got electrified.
You know what though? I did like Van Gaal on a personal level.
Oh, like when he dived. I can't remember who we were playing against, but then he feigned a dive to get that the 4th official. And it was just good banter.
Yeah.
He was good banter. But, Jose won trophies and his dismissal was ugly. And I remember we went to Anfield and I can't remember how much we lost by. Maybe it was 3-0. I just remember getting absolutely thumped. That was it for Jose. You go through all the managers, even Ollie, we had good times. We had great moments. We're not having any with Ruben. There hasn't been one bit of optimism, one bit of positivity. And you gave him, he probably had the biggest period of don't worry about it, you're going to get time. And even though that was 6 months in this day and age, that's a lot of time, plus the transfer window. And it just hasn't been a good start to the season. I think we're 3 wins, 3 losses and a draw in the league, that is. Obviously, had the League Cup embarrassment to Grimsby, the might of Grimsby. Shout out to Sacha Baron Cohen. But ultimately, I don't know where United are going to look at. I think it was Ratcliffe during the week. He gave, he stood firm on the 3 years, you need 3 years, et cetera, but realistically, you're never going to get that much time if the results aren't really doing any justice.
No, so when Liverpool brought Slot in, I seen a article, I think it was Richard Hughes talking about it from inside the club, and he was saying they identified Slot. They liked his brand of football. It was not too dissimilar from Jurgen.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's a lot more controlled, and his football's a lot more controlled than Jurgen's, but they identified a brand of football that would fit in with the philosophy of the football club. I never see that with Man United. Every coach is different.
Yep.
Every coach wants to play a different way. And the thing is, mate, when I look at yous, and I mean, I don't watch all the games and stuff. I watched the Brentford game the other week, and that was only because we were on after it.
Yeah, it was the early kickoff as well.
Yeah, so I watched a bit of that. Jordan Henderson doing an absolute passing masterclass. Fantastic. But yeah, mate, it's hard to see where Man United are going to improve, how they're going to improve, and how quickly it's going to be. If Liverpool give you a stuffing this weekend, do you think it could be the end?
I would happily walk him back to Portugal. I'd walk down, a tunnel that connects London to Paris. I'll take the long way, it's fine. We'll walk down the tunnel, walk through France, circumnavigate through Spain into Portugal. Wherever Amarin's from in Portugal, I can't remember. Assuming Lisbon. I'll happily do it, and I feel like there'd be a lot of fans that will join me on that little endeavour.
All right, so you're walking back to Portugal, which is a long walk.
It's a bit of a walk, yeah.
I know Australia is massive, right? The UK is tiny and all that, but it's still a big walk. All right, so who'd you go for after that?
That's the issue, because you look at, there's one of two ways to look at it. You look at who's available at the moment, not many, slim pickings. Probably the highest profile manager available is Zinedine Zidane, and he just seems like a guy who's just happily going on a sabbatical, coaching around Madrid, going on a sabbatical, but kind of seems like he's just going to get the France job after the next World Cup. He seems like a patient man. He's happily just going to wait for that. And then that's it. And then it's, all right, who do we go to break a contract and pay a club to get that coach? And then obviously that makes things a lot easier. I think the Premier League has gone into a state now where it's definitively the best league in the world, where you look at clubs mid-table or that push for, the European spots, the lower European spots, stacked with managers, like Crystal Palace, for example. I mean, Nuno Espirito Santo didn't deserve to get the sack, but I rate him. I think a lot of people do. Oliver Glasner at Palace, obviously. You got Fulham do well. Brentford with their new coach are doing well. You want someone who's probably accustomed to the Premier League. I think last time I was here, because we were at the beginning of the season, we we're talking about transfers and we're talking about how much more successful a club can be when you're signing players within the Premier League because they're experienced at the man, that physicality, the quick turnaround, the amount of games. Especially if you're in Europe, I'm pretty sure you'd be playing the most amount of games within England because you've got two domestic cups plus the league, for example. I think that's the smartest way to go. But then ultimately, it's not as easy as what it used to be. And, say you go to Fulham and be like, we want to take your coach. Like, no, we expect X amount of money. Especially mid-season, they could easily go no. So it's not fantasy. It's not Football Manager. It's not career mode on FIFA. It's difficult and it's really hard to go, well, what's the answer? But I can confidently just say that you have to rip the Band-Aid off before it gets even worse.
Yeah, but it is a case of, are you just going to get another Band-Aid and stick it on after you make the decision? Because if you haven't got a coach who you believe is going to be the next man to take the club on, then you might as well just leave him in.
Well, the biggest issue is that the system is the biggest issue here. The squad isn't built for this system. And like I said at the top of this, I genuinely do believe this is a good squad. We're not winning the league. I'm not crazy. I'm not a moron. But I genuinely do believe you can finish fifth. And I think a lot of football fans, regardless of if they like or they hate United, they look at that squad and they go, there's something here. So then what's the problem? And you watch United play. Ironically, I'm more confident playing against bigger clubs because you know that it's going to suit the sit back, contain, counter-attack. But the majority of the time, you're not playing against bigger clubs. Ironically, I was more confident going into the Chelsea game than I was going into the Brentford game. That shouldn't be happening because you're mostly playing against clubs of the caliber like Brentford, not of Chelsea. I'm more confident going to Anfield and trying to nick a point than I am at home against Bournemouth, for example, because I know something is going to go wrong at home. First game of the season against Arsenal, we lost, but we looked good and we should have won. And we played City and we got absolutely thumped, but it's a weird position. I genuinely do believe Amorim is a good coach, but I just don't think this is the job for him. You're not going to say no when you're coaching in Portugal, for example, and you get given the keys to United or you get offered the keys. You're going to say yes, but it's not more of a case of he's out of his depth. I think Amorim will leave and be successful somewhere else. I don't think that's a knock on him. I don't think it's a knock on the club. I just don't think this is the right match, which is very disappointing. And we're not in a competition like, rugby league, for example, where there's no relegation. Not that United are in threat of relegation, but you have more time to properly reset your squad and your tactics in a competition where you get rewarded for finishing in the top 8. Like in the NBA, where if you make the playoffs, that's okay if you're rebuilding. But in the EPL, finishing 8th isn't good enough. It doesn't get you anything. Even if you're a club of United's caliber, finishing and qualifying for the Conference League, that's not good enough. The fact that we're settling or hoping for a Europa League qualification spot, that's pretty embarrassing, in all honesty. I mean, it's a fair reflection of where we're at, and I'll cop it, but just for the size of the club, that's not where we're supposed to be. And it feels like currently we're so far away from even that, where if it was a situation where you brought in an interim, like we did with Ollie, and you just play maybe a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, I think results genuinely change. I think the mood changes. And then you just ride that high until the emotions get the better of you, and then realism starts to sit in, and then you cross that barrier, that bridge of, all right, what's the next step?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I know I've heard people suggesting it, but, maybe what you do is you get him out, you throw Roy Keane in there for 6 months.
Oh, God.
Right? But it can't be worse, right?
I think it could be with Roy. I genuinely think it could be.
Maybe. But, and then maybe Thomas Tuchel could come in after the World Cup. Let's talk about the game this weekend.
Yeah.
I could talk about United's struggles all day.
Of course you can.
But we've got to talk about this game. United haven't won at Anfield since 2016. Where is the threat going to be for Man United? If United get a result at Anfield this weekend, who's the player that we should be looking out for?
Probably it'll be the front three, and if Amarin is confident to play Diallo in that wing-back role, Diallo and Mbeumo look good together. Diallo is just not a defender. So, tactically, I'm not sure how brave he'll be to go to Anfield and go, hi, young pup, you're going to have to do a bit more defensive work this week. If he was at Old Trafford, maybe that would be the case, and I would go, that would be the genuine threat. I think United look dangerous off the counter. I really do. I don't like how deep Bruno is, but in a game like this, okay, it's a bit different. Ultimately, I think the biggest strengths United have going into this encounter is the flaws that Liverpool have shown at the beginning of the season. And I think the tide has somewhat changed, where last year Liverpool really did look invincible. But even though you won the first 4 or 5 games, but there were hiccups throughout a lot of those games. There were a lot of late goals. And then maybe it's fair to say the last month, maybe reality has settled in. And that's where United could maybe expose Liverpool. I think it's going to go one of two ways, where it's a derby, emotions are high, a lot of experience and leadership in that Liverpool team, a lot of players that have played in this derby before. Being at Anfield, it could easily be a 3-0, but it could easily be something really bigger is going wrong here, and now United are starting to unpick us. And realistically, I'm hoping for a draw. And with the way that things have gone the last few years, we either get thumped or we draw. So we'll take the point. If you offered me 0-0 right now, I'll take it, as boring as that is. But I think, again, like I said before, playing against a bigger club, for whatever reason, United just seem more confident going into these bigger games because the pressure's off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The expectations are different as opposed to playing against the lesser teams, I say in inverted commas. So yeah, that's where I think United could maybe nick a result. I really do. I think Salah hasn't been great this year. I think Van Dijk's. I mean, look, Liverpool are still favourites for the league. Let me just say that. I don't want anybody thinking I'm just being a hater. But realistically, Van Dijk hasn't looked like Van Dijk. His centre-back partner, Kanate, hasn't. He looks like he's already ready to leave. I know there's a lot of speculation that he will leave. The right back that you're going to pick, whoever it is, how Wirtz's form has been. This Liverpool team looks beatable to a lot of Premier League teams. It's just what Liverpool's going to rock up. Because Liverpool's still the best team in the league, they're just looking very questionable at the moment.
I think this is a perfect game for Liverpool. Like, if I had to pick a fixture for the weekend, coming back, 3 defeats, international break, players bedding in, all of that sort of caper. If I had to pick a fixture, I would say Man United or Everton.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a big game. It's bigger than the form.
Yes.
Man United could go and beat Liverpool at Anfield. No question about it. Like, expect United to have a crack. So I think the fact every time you play these games, I know you call it a derby. I don't call it a derby. I call Everton a derby. But you're our biggest rivals, and you always will be. Anything can happen in the game. It's like a cup final. So it's like a perfect game. It's like Slot has the chance to say to the boys a little bit, all right, get out your heads. Get out your heads. This is 90 minutes. This is going to be a battle. This is going to be end-to-end. There's going to be tackles. There's going to be this. You got to be ready for the battle. You know, where if it's felt like we went like the Crystal Palace game, man. You could see the players are thinking about everything that they do, you know. Nothing's quick. Everything's slow. So it's the perfect game for us. It's the perfect game for us. It's a good game for you as well, because it's a chance to go. If you can put 4 defeats on the bounce for us, things start to look a little bit more shaky, don't they?
Well, that's the thing, you know, like on the back of your point, I really do feel like there's more pressure going into, for Liverpool, I should say. I feel like this is a fixture where this could define, not the rest of the season, it's still early, but it could define up until the Christmas break. Well, not the Christmas break, but, you know, Christmas. Whereas United, if United go to Anfield and win, if we lost the next week, I don't think anyone would be surprised. It's just this weird roller coaster. And last with Liverpool, you've already lost a few games on the trot. When you won all those games in a row, you still didn't look great. And now City have clicked into form. I think Arsenal are technically in the lead at the moment. Now all of a sudden you're in the middle of a proper 3-way title race. And it wasn't supposed to be the case, was it? You know, you romped to it last season. You spent a hell of a lot of money this season. Theoretically, you think, okay, well, that means they should be even better. But all of a sudden, you're not. I think that's fair to say. And you have to win. You really have to win. All the pressure is on you guys.
I don't think we have to win. You know, look, we're on social media, right? Reds Down Under, right? And to be fair, our fan base, our followers, are not idiots, like, you know.
It's not AFTV.
No.
I was told you're the Liverpool version of Ty.
Yeah. Oh man, that guy's a fucking moron, man. But you know what? Like, fair play to them. They've got like 3 million more followers than what we've got. So
They built an empire. Built an empire.
But you know, people are like in a full panic.
Which I find crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
We played the other week. We beat someone. I can't remember. I did a video after it, like a reaction video, and I said, you know, like, we got lucky there. We got lucky, and we've been getting lucky, and the luck's gone around. People, you know, what do you mean we were lucky? We had 21 shots and all this. People, you know. But then it goes to like another level where people are like really starting to like jump down Verta's throat. You know, Isak needs to get back up to fitness, and then it's like, obviously things aren't going too well at the moment, so there's things that we need to talk about, but people are like panicking. But I think a defeat against Man United, when the dust settles, it can happen anytime.
Yeah.
It can happen anytime, any season. It's
proven in the past, right? You can go through the last 5 years how rubbish United have been, but they'll beat Liverpool.
Yeah, like it's...
Or they'll lose by 5.
And it happened... or 7.
Or 7.
It happens under Fergie, you know what I mean? Liverpool would still bounce, you know, turn up. Houlier's team or Rafa's team, Brendan's team will turn up and give United something to think about, like. So that can happen at any point. If United beat Liverpool, it won't... I don't think it'll affect the way I'm thinking about our season. I'll be gutted, but I'll be like, okay, but treat it on its own merits. it's a defeat against United. It can happen, right? But on the flip side of that, if we go and thump yous, which is also possible,
Of course.
Isak feeling a bit fitter, turns up.
Yep.
Wirtz has just won German Player of the Year. You know, maybe that'll give him a little pump. Liverpool could turn up. We could batter yous.
This could be the spark.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be the spark,
could
but
be.
I genuinely do believe, I think this is where we disagree. I think it will either be the spark or the first domino will properly fall.
Bum, bum, bum. If that's not a social clip.
Clip it up.
Yeah,
Clip it up.
Clip it up. All right. Let's.
Can I ask a question, just
Yeah.
quickly? I know you got me on to specifically talk about United.
Yeah.
But I've been asking a lot of Liverpool fans this question over the last month or so. Szoboszlai is a great player. I rate him. But where does he fit? If everyone's fit and available, with the big squad that you have, with the amount of positions that he plays, what is Szoboszlai's best position for the team and who's making weight?
So Szoboszlai's best position is the 10.
But you're not playing him at the 10.
Yeah. Correct, yeah.
He's played right back this season. I was very impressed. He's obviously playing deeper in the midfield. Very impressed. It's quite a Swiss Army knife, Szoboszlai. But I've come to realise that he has to be in your team. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. See, the thing is with Szoboszlai is when he plays in the 10, his numbers, and I don't like to get obsessed with the stats,
Of course.
you know, because, you know, they can be misleading, and I'll come on to that in a second. Szoboszlai, when he plays in the 10, he doesn't really stick to that traditional 10 role. He plays across the pitch, overlaps Salah, creates a bit of space in for Salah, invites the fullbacks into the game, and invites McAllister, who's our second hold midfielder, if you like, but with a bit more freedom. So Szoboszlai opens a lot of doors because of his willingness to run, right? He's aggressive, he's quite strong, he's good on the ball. His numbers aren't there, and I think when we've gone and got Wirtz because the club believe that this guy is the guy, and I think he will be the guy. I think he will. Like, I've got no doubt in my mind that this kid's got it. Like, so, and Arnie has put him in that role, but he's a completely different player to Szoboszlai. He's not going to be bouncing around the field, touchline to touchline. He wants to be there and he wants to stay there. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of talk that really, at Leverkusen last season, he was actually played on the wing a lot.
He did.
Yeah. So
It wasn't necessarily the wing. It was more, he was in that inside pocket coming from the left most of the time.
yeah, so a little bit of a problem there is that currently we've got Cody Gakpo, plays on the left, wants to cut in. He's the main left winger at the minute. Chiesa, the same. But then Isak likes to drop deep and drop left.
Yep.
Ekatike likes to drop deep and likes to drop left.
Yeah.
So there's like an overload of players in that position. You see it a lot. And even like Kerkez at left back, Robbo, there's nowhere for them to go.
No.
They're running up the pitch, but there's no like, it's not often that like, there's like you know what I mean? Like the through ball happens and the fullback is cutting the diagonal ball back from the byline. It's just it's not happening a lot, and I think it's because there's an overload in that position. So I think there might be a change there. Szoboszlai on form has to play, but I don't think he's one of the players in the squad where the manager goes, I've got to play him. Mo Salah has to play.
Of course.
Virgil van Dijk has to play.
Yep.
Kanate, probably because of a lack of options, has to play. Grafenberg has to play. McAllister has to play. Isak, obviously. But I think Wirtz is one of them players I think if Liverpool, if he's fit, Vert will always play. There might be the odd moment where he doesn't, but yeah, the sort of slight conundrum. But maybe look, we're playing Man United there. I think the right wing back position at United is a place where we can have a crack at his. I think it could be a big game for Cody Gakpo and could set his season off. But at the same time, wouldn't be surprised if he goes, it's going to be a tough game against these. I'm going to throw Szoboszlai in the middle. I'm going to play Vert on the left.
Yep.
And we're going to do something a bit different. But we'll see. All right, look, give us your predictions. It's a big game. I doubt we're going to get a 7-0.
Well, nobody expected it before it happened the first time.
Best night of my life, man.
You know what? I went into that game so confident because that was our last good season. That was Rashford's last good season for United. I went to bed going, I set the alarm. We're going to go win at Anfield today. Half time, I'm thinking we're 1-0 down, but we've been better. It's all right. We'll turn it around. Just quick one, went to the bathroom as the second half started. I came back. It was 3-0.
Jesus, man. How long were you in the bathroom?
A fair bit. I had a big dinner.
Yeah, sounds like a number 2.
I ate too much cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, folks.
Oh, man.
But yes,
Yeah,
predictions wise, I'm just going to go, for the sake of it, put the badger in my heart. I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1. We were talking on the phone about it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was 0-0, right?
No, God, no. I was just trying to have a bit of fun.
But you know what? And people will attest to this because on the podcast, I'm very cautious about like saying, "Oh, we're gonna go win this 3-0, 4-0."
Yeah, because
like
they'll find the receipts.
Yeah, normally, yeah, exactly, yeah. Normally, I'm a bit more like a 2-1, maybe 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go balls out.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 4-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
It'll be awkward if you lose.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. But I think Liverpool are gonna have a crack. Curtis, thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Ah, my pleasure. Anytime.
Wow, what an amazing chat that was.
God, isn't he good?
He's brilliant. All right. So we've got United, then we've got Frankfurt in the Champions League. Harry, we've got 8 games in the Champions League, mate. So there's plenty of games to qualify. In terms of Frankfurt, surely, mate, this is a game that we've got to go and beat them. It's away from home, which is always going to be tough going to Germany. But it's got to be a game we've just got to go and win, eh, mate?
Yeah, exactly. I think especially if we can come off a good win against United as well, we'll gain lots of confidence. And like you mentioned, yeah, go to Germany, take the points, Ekitike to bag a couple, and like you mentioned, a game we do need a win to get our Champions League season back on track. So yeah, back in the Reds to get the job done in this one.
Ekitike kisses the badge as he scores. He scores the winner.
Ekitike takes off his shirt and he's got a half and half shirt on. Yeah, look, obviously they lost Ekitike in the summer, which was a big one. They lost Mamouche, is it? Plays for City?
Mamouche, yeah. January they lost him, didn't he?
Yeah, so they've lost a couple of quality players. They've got Goetze in there. He's still doing it in there for them. They've got Wahi as well, who's got bags and bags of pace. They're 7th in the Bundesliga at the minute, and they are shipping goals. So I'd fully expect plenty of goals in the game. I mean, let's assume, Harry, that Isak is going to start against Manchester United. Could this be a perfect one for Ekitike?
Yeah, that's where my mind's sort of heading. I think, although I love Ekitike, and I think you mentioned it before, Jack, but some of the clips of him in French training earlier on were incredible. But yeah, I think Isak will start against United, and then Ekitike will be more than fired up to take on Frankfurt, that's for sure.
Jacko, is this one actually an opportunity to... Me and my dad were talking about it last week. The gaffer's tinkering a little bit with the team, isn't he? Is this an opportunity to look at what happened there for France? Ekitike and Mbappe played as a 2. And Ekitike was fantastic in that game for France. Is this maybe an opportunity to say, okay, look, we're gonna maybe even for 60 minutes, we're gonna try something a little bit different, and we're gonna put these two up front together?
I don't think it hurt against Frankfurt. I wouldn't against United, because like against Palace, we essentially were 2 up top, weren't we, for the first half, and we had nothing out wide. We were so narrow. And we were overrun in the midfield. But I think that Champions League game, to let them have a crack. But also, the devil on my shoulder says, imagine we start the 2 of them, something happens to one of them, and then the other one's shattered for the weekend, can't play 90 minutes. You know, an injury, whatever, nicks in. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see it, but at the same time, we just need to get back to our core, I think, of Salah as centre forward and whoever's playing on that left-hand side. It would be nice to be like, we'll just go and see how that works, but them in the Champions League, like, you're not going to play against any team this season where you can play 2 up front. It's just no defence is there for it. Like, we'll be so isolated. If we're playing against teams, like most of them do, when they go, essentially they play a back 5 against us, you struggle then because there is no width, you know. So I think you're wrong. Harry, isn't he wrong?
I think you're a bit too harsh, but...
No, that's what brothers do, Harry. Come on. By the way, for anyone at home, yes, we have all got green shirts on, and no, it wasn't planned.
Yeah, we look good in green. Yeah, look, I think at some point in the season, the Ekitike Isak thing is going to happen.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will.
So
I think it'll be Ekitike out left.
Maybe it will, and play them as a 3. Maybe it will. But it will be interesting to see sort of when that will happen. And to be honest with you, if we come out of United unscathed and we win the game comfortably, Isak won't play the 90 anyway. And then maybe it is an opportunity to say, okay, well, you know what, we're going to go Frankfurt and we're going to give Isak another 60, but we're going to play him with Ekitike. We're going to try it.
Try it out. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see on that one. Prediction, Harry?
Yeah, look, I think you're spot on in mentioning there'll be goals. I can agree with that one, especially with my thoughts thinking we'll beat United. So coming off the back of that, I think we'll comfortably beat them, get back on track 3-0.
4-0. 4-1. 4-1.
4-1.
Kanate on goal.
And then a hat-trick to the other end.
Because he hates us.
We will see, Reds. Let us know what
about yourself?
But I think it'll be tough. But you know what? I just want to see a performance. I think that we should blow them out the water for quality. I think a lot will depend on the United game.
Yeah.
And how that one sort of shakes up. But yeah, I think we'll beat them. I'm going to say 2-0.
Can I ask, you were saying about your notepad 11 for United. Curtis Jones starts, doesn't he?
I wouldn't be surprised. In my notepad 11 this week, let's just say this. I'm not playing a 4-3-3. No.
You're going 2 up top?
Going 5 up top. United are crap, but United are going to be playing 3 centre-backs.
Yeah.
3 centre-backs, and none of them... Like, they've been rotating them so much. Yoro, De Ligt, Maguire. Like, they've been rotating a lot. So, look, I think if there's a time to have a crack at them, and with the 3, if we went 2 up there, and tried to use that as an opportunity to create space on the wings, which we haven't really had a lot in a creative sense. Like, we've had a lot of space for Kerkez, we've had a lot of space for Bradley, but I'm talking about the creative spaces for a Gakpo or a Salah, which isn't there at the moment. And I think if we can create those overloads in the wide areas, I think we'll turn United over. Right, that's all we've got this week. Thanks so much to Jack for coming on.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
And thank you to Harry.
Always a pleasure. Well, haven't been. This is my first episode, so it was a pleasure.
You know what, kids? What a debut.
Yeah,
What a debut. I'm really impressed.
You know what? You are at least 10 times better than Mark Bosnich.
Not a fan of Bozza.
Nah,
Nice.
it's coming on next week.
He's a wally, mate, I tell you.
Oh, mate, if you watch him, Mark, you're a wally.
Flag in the ground, Mark Bosnich is an absolute wally. Thanks to Curtis as well for coming on.
Yeah.
We've got some brilliant guests coming up, really exciting guests as well coming up over the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. As I say, we will be doing a shirt giveaway for the Jamie Carragher signed shirt as well. And we've got loads of content coming up on social media, so do keep an eye out for that. And if you're commenting on the post, there's a really good chance that we will be reading your comments out on the podcast. So keep tuned for that. And I'm going to be going, I won't reveal too much at the minute, but I'm going to be going on another podcast as well coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Doing a watch along
Okay.
live stream. I'm not sure yet, we're lining it up.
Oh, okay.
So that's either going to be really entertaining or I'm just going to be sitting there really anxious for 90 minutes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is Reds Down Under. This has been the weekly show. I've been Tom. That's Jack. That's Harry. And that was Curtis as well. Thank you so much, Reds. And let's hope we go and stuff Man United at the weekend 4-0. Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.